Well, we had good fortune with the weather, that's for sure. We had certain things we wanted to get done this spring, and I think we got a lot of those done. Felt real good about the mindset, the attention to detail. A lot of young guys needing to find out a little bit more about what they could do. Today being practice 15 and a chance to come to the stadium, first and foremost you want it to be fun and meaningful. And it was a meaningful weekend in that it was the 75th anniversary of Jesse Owens' great athletic accomplishments, and our players had a chance to meet his family, which is awfully special, and had a chance to see the fact that the statue was erected at the Jesse Owens Track Stadium, and had a chance to demonstrate why we were wearing our camo helmets all spring long, with our recognition of the men and women that are doing what they're doing so that we have the freedom to do this. And there were a whole bunch of families and service folks here in the stadium, which made it even more meaningful for us. And then we got to put the ball in various situations. The offense coming out, we put the ball on the 25-yard line a bunch because we had not rehearsed an overtime situation, and those were those kinds of things that we think that you need to put yourself in those situations. And I don't think we had any injuries of magnitude. I know Jonathan got dinged a little bit, Hankins, and he'll be fine. And I don't know that we had any that I'm aware of. So you also want to leave practice number 15 as healthy as you can. And we banged pretty hard this spring, and so we did lose some guys off and on, and we had some guys miss some repetitions that need a lot of work. And we felt as we broke the spring practice 14 yesterday that our coaches sat down with their positions and talked about what we need to accomplish in that period where they're kind of on their own in May, June, and July. And now that you got to see them practice 14 times, some of the skills, some of the techniques, some of the things that we've got to improve upon. And so I thought all in all it was a good spring. It was a little bit different type of spring game today. We in the past have drafted and those kinds of things, and those old linemen had a workout today now. We had I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 90 plays, which we were hoping for anywhere from 80 to 100. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 90 plays, and I think those 8 guys played all those 90 plays, so they got a workout. But we thought it was good, and I think these guys seated here at the table are going to be a part of excellent leadership as we go forward, and we're looking forward to it.
We're open the floor for questions.
Jim, how should the quarterback play? Rate each one?
You know, when you're in these controlled scrimmage situations, so much of it has to do with what the other 10 people around you are doing, and not unlike when you're in a ball game, it has a lot to do with what the other 10 are doing. You know, I thought Braxton probably played a little bit more relaxed and had a little bit more fun than he has, in part because we really limited what we were doing today. You know, I thought Joe and Kenny showed that you know, they've been around, and you know, they are able to manage our offense and know what's going on. I thought Taylor, you know, had the big, you know, home run throw, which was anytime you can throw a ball vertically up the field and give a guy going up there a chance to come up with a play like that, that's big. I think Taylor took a couple too many minus-yard plays. You know, we've got to learn as young quarterbacks that you can't get sacked in the red zone and those kinds of things. But it'll be interesting to strap all of their film throughout the spring chronologically and kind of study them a little bit. We get so caught up in going day to day and adding this and adding that, but you know, I thought the fact that we didn't have many turnovers, you know, the offense has got a tremendous advantage in a scrimmage like this when you put the ball down near the goal line so much, if there are no turnovers. And you know, the quarterbacks didn't turn it over, and so it gave the offensive great advantage.
Jim, has Braxton played himself into serious contention in the fall, in your opinion? I mean, has he developed enough for you to think along those lines?
Oh, we've been giving those 4 guys equal reps from day one. You know, Braxton probably hasn't had as much time with the first and second units as the other 3 guys, but you know, he needed to learn the plays and so forth. We didn't want to send a young guy in and foul up those, you know, first couple of units, and you know, we wanted to bring him along slowly. But no, I think no question, our guys know this. When we figure it out and we know who's healthy and we know what's going on beginning game 1 and what we've got to do and who we're playing and what they do, we're going to play whoever we need to. And you know, it doesn't exclude Braxton, it doesn't exclude Jeremy Cash at safety.
How do you evaluate, particularly with the secondary was so completed and so many backups, how difficult is it to evaluate positive for offense versus, you know, the defensive personnel losses?
You know, we don't really evaluate something today like offense or defense as a whole, you know, but you're looking at kids and what they do and did they make good decisions. And, you know, those young guys that were young in that secondary back there, you know, they're going to learn tremendously. And sometimes when you don't get reps like that, your progress is slower. So, you know, to me, we wanted to have a competitive offense-defense thing, but on the other hand, what was more important was putting guys out in front of some people and seeing if they can line up. And sometimes it's good for a young person to know just how far he, you know, has to go. And you know, you don't like to get injuries, but when it gives someone else an opportunity to grow, you know, you take that as a benefit.
Jim, especially with DeVere missing the first 5 games, how do you feel about the wide receiver position leaving spring?
You know, I'm going to let these guys talk a little bit about those kind of things after I answer that, because I really thought, and I'll be interested to hear what they feel, especially DeVere. You know, we've got young guys at receiver, and I thought they really came along this spring. I think after about 3 practices, we were thinking, oh my gosh, we might be in 3 tights, a fullback and a tailback, you know, and because they're so young, and I think they came along. You know, I think they're starting to understand, you know, what it is. First, you got to know where to line up. Then you got to know what your assignment is. Then you got to go figure out how to do it against good guys. And so I think they've come along. Now, they need to have tremendous progress between now and September. But I think all of our guys, receivers especially, the youth of them, this spring was well served. I think there was a lot of, there wasn't anyone sitting in that room. Sometimes in the spring, you know, you got this veteran team coming back and some guy sitting in the back of the room saying, you know what, I'm not going to play this year anyway. And so he's not razor sharp. I sensed that our guys knew that every person in that room was going to have to make a difference in 2011. And I think they prepared that way, and I think they progressed that way. And I also think they know that we got a lot of work to do, but, you know, we're looking forward to it. So.
Jim, how will the coming months be different for you?
How will they be different?
Yeah, for you, you're not going to be on the sidelines when they come out for the season. How will the coming months change for you?
Oh, probably not at all until we get to the back end of preseason. You know, just like for, you know, a couple of the players, you know, the world's not going to change. They're going to be lifting weights at 6 in the morning or at midnight when we tell them to, and I'm going to be doing all the things that I have to do. And then you get to the back end of the preseason, and then all of a sudden you're talking about who's going to be in the game and who's going to do what. You know, then that changes a little bit, but I'm going to worry about that later. We were focused to have a really good spring, and I want you to talk to these guys about this spring, because I'm not worried too much about, you know, what lies forward. I want them to get ready to have a great May, June, July. Thank you.